I'm Jessica, and today we are going through Herbaceous over here, which is set up. So you are invited, if you have a copy, feel free, grab yours, set it up, play along, see how high your score can be. There's the perfect score of 67 points, which after almost 1,300 plays, I still haven't gotten there. So maybe it will be you, probably. And if you don't have Herbaceous, feel free to watch and learn how to play. I'm just going to kind of dive in here and have some fun. We will see what happens. But yes, this is Herbaceous. So it's a very simple and relaxing sort of game. We have all different herbs, and we're trying to get them into these different pots down here. This one, just as an example, you're getting, if I can get it in the shot. This one, we're trying to get the same type of herb. If we get up to 7, we can get 22 points, which is pretty nice. And then the other ones that we're looking at are different herbs, pairs of herbs, and the fantastic one over here is the glass jar, which if we can get some of the special herbs, that will get us arguably the best card in the game, the biscuit. I always get overexcited when that happens, so stay tuned. And hopefully you'll get the biscuit too on Solo Sunday. So I have everything all set up here. The only thing to note is I actually have beads off to the side. When I play on my own, I literally count out loud 1, 2, 3 for each round. It's very simple and quick. When I'm chatting and talking like this, I lose track. So this is just mainly for me. You definitely don't need this if you're playing on your own. It's a simple cadence of just going through each round with 3 cards. So here's where we start. Apparently, tarragon is on the menu for today, which could be good, but we will see what happens. So we will go with, let's get started and see what our first card is. It's another tarragon, and I'm going to hang on to that because I am going to try to get 7. Will I get 7? Probably not. That's the first card of the round. And then we have a lovely bay, which I think I am going to hang on to. Could be risky, but we'll see. Dang it. Wrong decision. There goes the tarragon. This is one of the nice things about this is that you are sort of taking risks each round and determining which card you need. Sometimes it's easy. Other times you have to say, do I really need that? I kind of do. And then you flip the next card and say, I did not need that one. So that's it. That's a round where we're making decisions. Up here, just to note, is the public garden. And everything underneath in this row is your private garden. I have all these nice little garden markers out here. You don't necessarily need them, but I love just having them out there. It looks nice. They're fun, cozy. All righty. So let's get back to this deck here. Sage. I will hang on to the sage and put it in the public garden. And our next card is lavender. Also going to hang on to that one. And if I lose another tarragon, all right, so dill. Kind of needed the dill, but that's okay. So what we have now is what I usually kind of mark up at the top, where the biscuit card kind of indicates how big that public garden can get. It can only get to 4 cards. If I put a 5th card in there, that public garden just gets cleared out. It's too much. And we kind of lose all those cards. So this is the point where I'm sort of forced to pick these herbs and put them somewhere. But I do have a plan because I do have 6 different herbs here. So not the 7 different. We just saw dill that we lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take sage, bay, saffron, rosemary, lavender, and tarragon, even though I want it for something else. We're going to take those 6, kind of put them in a little pile, and that's going to go on the different herbs pot. So I'm going to end up getting 12 out of 14 points. You can put these however you like. I see some people make really nice creative displays of fanning them out, which looks really cool, or putting them underneath the card. It's kind of flexible. You do what you want. This way, I just like doing it because it shows me how many points I actually am getting. So that was, we discarded the dill. See, I need these beads. Talk too much. So let's go on to the next round. Again, so now the public garden is cleared out. I can fit another 4 cards out there and still fill up the private garden. So let's take a look at what we have to work with. Lavender. Love the lavender, but I am going to risk it and discard it. Dill, which we haven't seen. I will put that in the public garden and see how that pans out. And a special herb, thyme. So this is a special one because it has, you see in the upper left, it has points. So these ones are unique. There are 3 different types. Each one is worth either 1, 2, or 3 points. If we can get one of each and put it in the glass jar over here, that's a biscuit. So I am definitely going to hang on to that one. And so now we go to another round. I hope if I lose count again, I'm going to laugh at myself because it's usually, I mean, if you want to hear my thought process through each round, this is all it takes place is 1, 2, and 3. That's how I keep track. It sounds very boring though, so I will not be doing that this time. But we did pick up a chive here, which I just realized is off the screen. You probably want to see that. So there we go. So all I need is a mint worth 1 point for the special herbs. I am hoping to get that. So here's a lavender. Again, showing up, but I don't need you right now. Rosemary, also not needed, but we're going to put it down here. And another rosemary, which is workable. So our public garden is getting pretty filled in at this point. Your private garden, sometimes mine will go over as a huge row. Or you can kind of stack it as you want to. It's a very compact playing space. As you can kind of tell from how the cards are laid out, it usually doesn't get that large unless you're trying for tarragon. So let's go on to our next round and see what's going on. Another rosemary. I almost am tempted to switch over and go for rosemary instead of tarragon, but I can't abandon my tarragon. I'm not doing it. A dill, which is a good idea because I'm going to be able to get doubles there. And lavender. Hello there. Oh, and now we're in a bit of a conundrum. I definitely want to get at least 2 pairs here. So pairs include any herbs except for the special herbs. Those ones you're putting in the glass jar. Those are the special ones. They need this. It's just the glass jar. So I want to get a pair of dill, definitely. A pair of rosemary, because once again, that clears out, or it mostly clears out the public garden. So I have my stack here. And the choice is, do I take those 2 tarragon to make another pair? And I am going to say no. Which does lose me some points because with 4 cards, I'm getting 8 points. With 6 cards, I could have gotten 12 points. So will it pan out? I'm not sure, but we're going to keep on going. So our next one is lavender again, which keeps showing up. At this point, I don't need lavender though. Thank you. Bay, also unneeded, but we'll hang on to you. And our friend dill. We'll go in the public garden. All right, we still have some things we're working with here. And maybe while you're playing, you are having better luck with tarragon than I am. Because apparently tarragon, I used it all up. Sadly, that's usually that's usually my joke. I ran out of time. However, there is a tarragon, which I am most certainly keeping. And maybe another tarragon. No, it's just all right. So the other thing to keep in mind is that you don't want to run out of cards because on the very last turn, you can only pot 1 of these. So if I wait till the very end, I can't put 2 in each of these. So that would end up losing me points because again, this one is empty right now and just waiting for a glorious bouquet of herbs to put in there. It's going to be tarragon, but how many? I'm not sure yet. All right, we are going to run into the public garden running out of space soon. So now we've drawn a dill. I do not need you at this time, but thank you for showing up. a sage, which also is unneeded, but we'll put it here. And then, moment of truth. It's a chive. So close. So that has to go in the public garden. And so I'm down to my last three cards here. So I definitely need to put something in some pots right now. I am sadly going to accept a slight defeat here and take two chives and a thyme, which means that I will not be getting the herb biscuit this time around, which is always slightly sad. You know, you want that herb biscuit. So with these ones, since they are worth points each, I usually fan them out like this. And that's going to go into our glass jar over here. So we're going to have the maximum there, which is three different, I shouldn't say three different, but three cards, which is 6 points. So not the end of the world, but mint. Where did you go? And then it's our last one. So we're going to have bay, which I definitely don't need. Sage, also not needed. So we'll keep it down here. And the last card, is it tarragon? I'm going to say no, but I'm hoping for it. You know, of course, mint's at the bottom. This is always how it goes. So mint's going to have to go up there because, again, each round you're discarding one, placing one in the private garden, placing in the private garden, and then one in the public garden. So now I have a chance to do my last potting. And as I said, it's definitely tarragon. Sadly, only 4, but, could be worse. So we'll put that over here. And then for final scoring, you're going to ignore everything up in the public garden in that very top row. Those are not worth any points, but don't discard what's in the private garden because those actually get you 1 point apiece. So they are worth something. So let's see, how well did I do? So I have 14 for the first pot, plus 12 is going to be 26, plus 8 is 34, and then 40, 42, 44, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So not too bad. I would not call that a bad play at all. I consider a success for myself at 50 points or more. Again, 67 points is the perfect score. Very difficult to get. You need the cards to work out exactly, but it is possible. So let's go ahead and clear everything away for now and play again, because the nice part about Herbaceous is that during the solo setup, you have a deck of 72 cards that actually gets split in half. So what is my setup? My setup is take all these cards that I just played with, put them off to the side, and grab the other stack of cards. It's all ready. I am all set, and I just have to go through the setup steps. So here's our play area. Not as nice as before. I like it lined up, but that's all right. We'll call it creative. So the setup is also very quick and very simple. We have our deck. We are going to discard one card, which is saffron. And then we're going to start off with 2 cards in the public garden. So we have rosemary and saffron there. And then 3 in the private garden. And that's it. So it's also fun to play either very strategically or just kind of very relaxed. We may actually have speed gardening later, so stay tuned. That one is, I would not classify that as relaxed, but if you want to play in under, I believe I can play in under a minute, it's possible. But as I was saying, when you play back-to-back games, you learn a little bit about what's going to be in this second deck. So you have a little bit of extra information there. You still don't know what the order of the cards is going to be or anything like that, but there's some fun stuff there. I usually have equal amounts of luck, though. I shouldn't say that I do better in the second game always, but we will see. So I started off at 52 points with the first one. I have my beads so I don't lose track, because once again, I will lose track as I talk. And let me see here. We are all ready to go. And we are actually looking pretty good. Remember that pears is one of the pots that we want here. This lovely one with the yellow. Love this artwork. This is by Beth Sobel. And I should also say, I see Keith Mateka in the comments. He is the designer of the solo mode. The main game is by Steve Finn or Dr. Finn and Eduardo Baroff. Always want to throw a shout out because, again, to be able to play a game for about 1,300 times and still enjoy it, not an easy task. Alrighty, so let's jump in. Our first one is rosemary, and that is exactly what I wanted because I am going to be able to get some pears up from the public garden. So let's keep going and see what happens. Oh, tarragon. Oh, interesting trivia. For anybody not seeing the comments, Keith has just said the second game with the other half of the deck was Ed's idea. That is definitely an awesome piece of trivia. I sit here with tarragon. Tarragon is the card of the day. I'm going to discard it though and say, your chance was before tarragon. I'm done. And more saffron. That's all right. I can work with that. All righty. Let's keep on going. Dill this time. I do need dill. I am going to hang it over here in the private garden. Why? I don't know. It feels right. And here's another dill. So this is going to be interesting. I'm actually going to hang on to that, which means that we are going to be discarding bay. Put that down there. Alrighty, so if you are familiar with the rules again, our public garden is full, and I do not want to lose those cards by discarding them all. Although I will note, it is an interesting mechanic that works sometimes. You can actually use the public garden to sort of put cards you don't need, and then clear that out as you're saving everything in your private garden, because the nice thing there is your private garden, as I like to say, can grow wild. You can keep as many cards there as you want. It's just the public garden that has that limit. So there are certain circumstances where I will actually just kind of dump cards in that public garden, trying to find the right card, usually towards the end of a play. We'll see if it actually comes up today because it's very rare for me. But that is a note that mechanism is it's a restriction, but at the same time, you can use it in your favor depending on what you're looking for, which is a lot of fun. Once again, simple rules, very relaxing game, but it does have some depth to it. There, you really have to think about your strategy. But here I go again, just talking. Let's get those herbs in some pots. So I definitely want to take the rosemary pear because, again, let's clear out the public garden. The 2 pair of dill, and now I actually don't like going up and making 8 pairs because you're not actually getting as much in terms of the point value. So you're going from with 4 cards to 6, you're getting 4 extra points. But from going from 6 to 8 cards, it's only 2 more points. So I think what actually is the better idea here is to hang on to the saffron so that we get a head start on our other pot so that we can start getting a lot of saffron. So here's my stack of, again, these are all pairs. And one thing to note here is that they do have to be different pairs. So if we had 4 dill out here, for instance, that's still just 1 pair that we can actually put there. And no special herbs again. And then, so let's get that over there. So that's going to be worth 6. All right, 6 cards worth 12 points in the end. Also, I see everybody in the comments here. Ed is here. It's awesome. Alrighty. We have the saffron. Let's take a look. All right. I'm excited. I am excited for saffron. And now the interesting part here is obviously I'm keeping this card. We're not going to dump that one. But do I put it in the public or the private garden? See, if I put it up in the public, that is going to be limiting what else I can put up there. I can only fit 2 more cards, but then I would be clearing it out. Or do I put it in the private garden and save it there, meaning I definitely am going to have 3 and I would just have 1 to clear out. I am keeping it in the private garden for now and seeing what happens. I need more saffron, please. Will the deck be nice? It's a bay, which I will say, thank you for showing up, but I don't need your services at this time. And then lavender, which is fine because we do need to pot herbs that are different. So that'll get us started with that. Let's go on and dive in. Bay again. I think Bay is trying to tell me something. I will actually hang on to Bay. I'm listening this time. Dill, which I need, but I am really looking for saffron, so we're going to discard the dill. Oh, and of course, I didn't listen. Bay, which I don't actually need. Because right now, again, we already potted the pairs of herbs, so I can't actually put those in here again. Once you kind of make that decision of when am I going to put these in a pot, once you do it, that's it. You can't add to it. So again, this is kind of this nice element of when should I do it? What's the best timing for this? Do I risk this? Again, very fun, very interesting, but also the rules simple. It's a mint. I will take that. I'm gonna put it in here. Is that the right choice? I'm not sure. There's delicious saffron. All right, and then this third one will be discarded, and it's the time. We don't have time for time at this time. But I do have time for bad jokes and puns. All right, so once again, we need to make sure that we get everything out of that. Well, not everything, but what we can out of the public garden so we don't lose everything. So this is going to be a pretty nice collection of 5 saffron. And I love this card. The yellow and purple just looks beautiful. So I'm excited to pop that. So 5 of those is going to be worth 18 points. If we could have gotten to 7, that would have been 22 points. So we're still doing pretty good here. And I'm just going to bring over mint so that we can kind of keep everything organized here. What I am now looking for are different herbs and my glass jar with special herbs. I sadly lost the time, but if I remember, I believe there's another time. So here's sage, which we do need for different herbs. And it's looking like we're going to clear out that public garden with that. More sage, which, oh, thank you. And a bay. It's like it just wants to compete. I picked the saffron, all right? The saffron is it. Don't need you, bay. All right, let's keep going. Tarragon, a good friend from the last game. Didn't show up, but seems to want to show up here. More bay. More bay. Don't want it. And dill. Okay. Which is actually pretty good. Excited about that. So we did that. And once again, I don't want to lose these cards in the public garden. I talked about, kind of dumping cards that you don't need. I need those though. So it's not going to be the greatest collection here of different herbs. We have tarragon, sage, bay, lavender, and dill. If I can count correctly, that's 5. So we'll keep them here. And at this point, I now just want to find the chives and the thyme so that I can get my biscuit. That's all I want. But it's going to give me mint first, which I actually don't want. No, thank you. That's what I'm talking about, the chives. Lavender. All right, that was 3. I counted it, I think. So more lavender, which again, we're not going to need. Rosemary, which I have to take. The time? The time? No, more lavender. Okay, that's fine. And so we're down to our final 3 cards. Is the time in here? Rosemary wants to say, no, it's not. All right, now I'm doubting myself. All right, I did not remember. So there we go. I should have actually kept the chive there. It helps if you keep track of it, but again, not the end of the world. I still don't have my biscuit for the day, so we got to jump back in and play some more. But I do want the mint and the chive. The glass jar can only hold special herbs. I should say the special herbs can only go in the glass jar, but you can indeed put another card in there to get to that 3-card limit. So we're going to put some rosemary in there. The rosemary is not worth extra points, but if I only put 2 cards in, I'm getting 4 points. If I put 3 cards in, I'm getting 6. So put those over there. And another note, note that I took that out of the public garden and not the private, because again, each card in your private garden in the end is worth 1 extra point. So we had 52 last time. I don't know about this one. Did I do better? Did you do better? Probably. But let me see. So we have 18 plus 8 is 26, 38, 44, 5, 6, 7, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. All right, so I didn't do better, but at least it was another consistent play. I'm going to quickly clean that up, and I think we're going to go. I shouldn't say I think. I didn't get the biscuit card. There's no doubt about it. You gotta get the biscuit card. So I'm going to take all these, and then also the rest of the cards. Do the world's worst shuffling. I mean, should I even put this on camera? My shuffling skills leave a lot to be desired. At the moment, though, I just want the biscuit card, which seems silly, I know. Is it that's the funny thing, I think, is the perfect score is 67 points. But is it more important to me to reach 67 points or get the biscuit? It's the biscuit. Yes, Keith, always biscuit time. You always want the biscuit. So I'm going to say that my shuffle, I feel like, actually, funny story, for Christmas one year, my dad got me a book on how to be a magician and how to shuffle. And I never read it. As you can tell, I think that I need to do that. However, I will note that despite my bad shuffling, let me see if I can show kind of a close-up of the edges of these cards. These have been used, these are unsleeved, these have been used over 13, I shouldn't say over, but around 1,300 times. I mean, you might notice a little bit of wear, but it's to the point that to me it seems practically new. So I am very happy with these cards. And when I split them out, if it's easier for you to split them by counting out 36, that works. What I like to do is to make sort of, I don't know, sometimes it works better than others. But you can kind of just have the stacks next to each other, and this looks about right. And worst case, what I do is I'll just take a card or add it to the other piles. So there we go. We are ready to rock and roll for biscuits. Or I should say just the herb biscuit, but you know. So I'm going to discard 1 for setup, 2 in the public garden, alrighty, and then 3 in the private garden. Gotcha. All right, this is looking good. Lots of different ones. And I am just hoping that I can get my biscuit. So first up, we have sage, which works because I have almost all of the unique herbs out here that I need. Saffron, I'm going to say no thank you at this time. And another dill, which will go in the private garden. Off to a pretty good start here. Dill, 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 dill. Hang on to the dill. Actually, I should have put that in the public. Oh, there it is. Tarragon, which I was hoping for. And it heeded the call. And then the third card is rosemary, which we'll be discarding. All right. So clear out that public garden. This is nice. We'll take the tarragon, sage, rosemary, lavender, dill, saffron, and bay. And that is 7 unique herbs. So that is going to get us the maximum score from this beautiful pot right here. I'm just going to bring the dill over and keep it going. So we have rosemary. It's tricky because I don't have anything out here. So rosemary isn't a bad choice, but because I am so excited about getting the biscuit, I'm going to discard Okay, more rosemary. All right, no, not a problem. And in the public garden is the mint. Okay. Let's not get too excited. We have not got the biscuit yet, but we are 1/3 of the way there. All right. Time. All right. Definitely keeping it. What I'm thinking of here is if I want it in the public or the private. The benefit to putting it in the public garden is if I can get the chive, that leaves more space in the public garden for me to keep going through the deck. But I kind of want to prevent anything from happening, so I'm going to keep it over here in the private garden. Dill again. See, I do want dill, but I also want the chives. So I'm going to take a risk here and hope this isn't chives. Okay, it's a sage. Okay. On to the next round. Tarragon, which is not really necessary at this time. I say that, and you know that, the next round I'm going to be like, I needed that. Okay, more dill. And that goes in the public garden. So we're going to have one more round to see what we have in the public garden and go from there. Will we find a chive? Lavender, which I'm actually tempted to keep for pears. It's tricky because I really want dill and chives. And if those are both in the deck, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep lavender and we're going to see what shows up. Time. So close. But nope, I'm going to discard that one. And then rosemary, which actually presents an interesting option. So I'm definitely, again, we're at 4 cards in the public garden. Got to get those out of there or I lose them, and I'm not losing that mint. I want that biscuit, and that mint is my path to it. So what I can do here is I can actually pot all 4 dill, or I could do pears where I do dill, rosemary, and lavender. Oh, tricky, tricky. I think I'm going to go with the 4 dill. It's not 7. And this one always, to get 7 of the same herb is extremely difficult. That's when I usually get close to 67, when you get 6 or 7. But we're going to have 4 dill, which is still worth 14 points. And I want the chives. I mean, I'm going for it. Sage. We're going to say no sage. Of course, dill shows up. Are you kidding me? And because I put dill in the private garden, this other mint is going up there to the public garden. All right. Good times hunting down a biscuit. Why am I keeping tarragon? I ask myself. I'm not keeping tarragon. I want it. Sage. Ugh. Chives. Oh, no. So in order for me to actually get some points here, I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to say I'm not getting the biscuit again. This is atrocious. However, I can take 2 mints. So that will get me, another point just from having that mint. But goodness, what am I going to do? Well, we're going to go for a bunch of pears. That's what we need to do. Tarragon shows up again. Keep discarding it. Bay, I need to keep. Oh, fate. Of course, it was right there. And I can't do anything with that. So we are down to our last 3 cards, which is fine because we just need pears. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Was it my shuffling or was it just bad luck? Because there's chive. But here's the best part. You can't actually make a pear out of the special herbs. Again, those can only go in the special jar. So that's just going to sit there and mock me. It's just so rude. Lavender, which I already have a pair of lavender, and, more time. And if you've been counting, that means the 3 times showed up in this half of the deck, so I can't even get the biscuit on the next turn. I'm speeding things up here so that I can actually get my biscuit today. All right. Let us get lavender and rosemary, and that's the only pairs I can actually make. All right. And also, just another thing to note, each card in the private garden is worth 1 point, but even though I have chive down here, those 2 points don't count. that only counts if we can get it in the glass jar. Once again, the reason why that biscuit card is so good. So we have 14, 28, 46, 42, 44, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. I'm slipping here. So let's quickly clean this up. This next round, I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a speed gardening or a speed herbaceous or a speed run, whatever we wanna call it. Fast gardening with herbaceous, just so I can get back to reshuffling so I can get that biscuit. If you're playing along, I hope you have gotten the biscuit a few times. Appreciate that biscuit. All right, so setup is right here. Oh, child. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Get pairs if I can actually grab them. They don't want to come with me today, so that's 6 cards for pairs. That's just gonna sit there and mock me. 1, 2, 3. They're gonna mock me. 3. Oh my goodness. They no. Only 4. Now that one. Oh, it's gonna be terrible. I'm only gonna get 4 different herbs. That is not a good strategy. I just want to alert anybody. 2 and 3. All right, so Bay wants to show up a lot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna take that. Actually, wait. How many cards do I have left? 3. I know the time's not in there. Nope, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna hope for another Bay by potting these 3. 3, not 2. 3. And there. Aha. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are way off there. All right, that was a fast run. And we have 18, 24, 36, 42, 3, 5, 6, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. All right, so it was terrible in some ways, but I'm consistent today, but you know, it's just not good enough. I haven't gotten my biscuit card yet. All right. We're going again. And I'm shuffling as apparently, yes, the gifter of that shuffling book, my dad, has popped into the comments here to tell me I should have read that shuffling book. And he is not wrong. I always say, "Oh, I'm terrible at shuffling, but it's good for the cards." You know, it helps the cards. No. That's just me making excuses for why my shuffling is great, but we all know. All right. Let's get this all split up. That looks like it's exactly 36. Alrighty. So here we go. Time to hunt down that biscuit. All right, so we're off to a good start with possible pairs. This is good. We have saffron, which I'm going to discard. Rosemary, which we'll keep down here. And another rosemary. Okay. Can't complain about that. Lavender. I don't need it this time, but we will see. Bay, which is good for pairs. And another bay. I don't know. It's a bay day. Is that? I don't think that's a thing. All right. So let's get pairs then. So bay, rosemary, and dill. And I know I could have done 4 rosemary, which at this point I am thinking that might have been a better choice, but I'm rolling with it. I just want a bit. So here's a bay, which I don't need. Saffron, up there. And another bay, which I don't need, but okay. Saffron again, which I don't really want it. Lavender, hang on to lavender. Tarragon, looking lovely. Alrighty. Bay. This is too much of it. Oh wait, hold on, before I discard. No, I won't. All right. I'm gonna keep the bay instead of discarding it. I'm reverting slightly. Saffron, which I don't need, and then sage. Keep up there. Righty. Tarragon again, which I don't need. Sage again, which is also unneeded this time. And saffron. It's like I said I wanted the biscuit, and it, the deck is just like, we're not going to give you any of those. So we're going to pot different herbs here. So this should be, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The dill is missing. So still 6 out of 7. Not too bad. Organize the play area a little bit. And let's see. Sage. Nope. Saffron. It's been rude to me, but okay. And dill shows up. Okay. Sage again. This is getting, I feel like I've discarded the wrong card several times, but we will see if that pans out or not. Now the dill is showing up. And the cards, we're getting down to the end here. I don't want the lavender. Rosemary, now you show up. Keep it down here. Whoop, and the beads go flying. All right, and more dill. So let's pop those dill. That's 4. Not too bad. Here we go. Alrighty. And then we are down to right near the end. Oh, look who it is. It's Mint. I'm getting excited. But not too excited because we're right near the end here. Actually, that's 1 card, so that means I did not do the pushing of the stacks together correctly. All right, so I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a consistent score. That's 14, 26, 38, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. I lied. I mean, apparently I can hit 51 and 52 consistently. I am curious, others who play this, if consistent scores are a thing. I'll usually score somewhere in the 50s or the high 40s. Every now and then I have a fantastic game where I'm in like the 30s. So, and then I say, what have I done? It's the quest for the biscuit. That's what it is. So let's get this one done real quick. Let's see. I mean, this is set up, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to get the biscuit. All right. Oh, here we go. We're starting off with a chive. All right. Also in the comments, hi, Jeremy. Okay, let's see. All right, we can do this. The goal of the day is the biscuit. Okay, I'm going to keep the rosemary. Up next, saffron. I'm going to lose the saffron. And it's lavender, which is all right because I can see some pairs forming here. Sage. I need it, but I want, yes, I want that mint. Hang on to it over here. All right, and then chive is going up there. All right. So let's do, the tricky part here is the pairs are just, it's not great for the public garden. I'm going to get 1 more round out of it. And I'm still only getting 4, and I have the chive. Do I just discard those? Decisions, because I can lose the chive because we're looking for time. We just need the time, and I can't even pronounce it. Oh my goodness. All right, so how I do this, we're actually going to dump everything from the public garden. And you might say, what are you doing, Jessica? There's a plan here. Is it a good plan? I mean, that's up in the air. So we're going to clear out the public garden because and what happens is it's getting 5 cards added to it. But what I do is I just draw one, right? So that one would be normally discarded. This one, that will say is the one that went in the public. And I'm banking on this being what I need. Is not, however, has to go in the private garden. And we're going to see if that was actually a good choice. See, Ed is saying, what are you doing? It's going to work out, all right? It's going to work out, says the non-expert. So tarragon, let's save that one. I'm speechless. Hold on just a second. Let me get through that round so I don't mix it up. I got mid chive in time. I'm ready for the biscuit, but here is one of my things that I do. I do not actually pot that until I absolutely have to because it's all in the private garden. It's guaranteed. So if for some reason I get one of those cards up in the public garden, I can actually take it out of the public garden and save that. So I'm going to wait. But brace yourselves because there's excitement coming. It's a brewing in the biscuit card. It's coming my way, but not yet. Now I will be patient and let's see if my decision there actually made sense because it's not. Alrighty. So there's tarragon. You can hang on to that. Another tarragon. Ooh, tricky because we want to go for 3. I'm going to discard it. And a rosemary. Keep that down here. And keep going. So there's sage. Nice. We're going to get our pears. Another tarragon. I will, because I'm going to discard it. And lavender. Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, let's draw a card before. All right, lavender. I'm gonna hang on to you. Tarragon again. All right, so now we know I should have been hanging on to tarragon this whole time. It's just everywhere. All right, let's get some of our pears though. So there's sage and definitely tarragon. Oh, I know what I'm doing. And dill. So sorry, that was sage, tarragon, and dill. There we go. Alrighty. We're gonna hang on. I'm going for the lavender here. There's bay, which I actually do need. Saffron, which I will actually keep, which means that we are discarding sage. Oh, look who it is. Interesting. I will discard that guy though. Okay, I have to keep time. We'll keep the time up there. And a rosemary. All right, let's start getting up the. So, all right, you know what? Someone here didn't count correctly. Here we go. Jeremy's just added that some of his worst scores are live plays. You know what I've just done? I've not counted correctly because I was so excited about the biscuit. I can only pot once per turn. So, you know what? We're going to blame that on, what is that? Biscuit vision? Excitement? Too much? Let's say right now, we're going to just go and say that I actually got my biscuit before, because that's apparently all that my mind is on today. Biscuit, it's mine. All right, we're going to pretend that happened before. Shh, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody cares. And then let's do some pairs, or not pairs, sorry, unique ones, because I'm going to hope for 3, 4, 5. We're going to hope for another lavender. And it's more time, which I don't need. A chive, okay. And what's the last card? A bay. So great, we're going to have a pair of lavender. This is going to be the worst score. But is it actually the worst score? Because I got myself the biscuit card. So let's see. 6, that's 14, that's 26. Gosh. 32, 3, 4, 45, 48, 43, 44, 45. Worst score of the day, but I'm going to say that was the best play of the day, purely because biscuit. And because I got the biscuit card, let's go and put on this random hat, because that's how I celebrate nowadays. I don't know. I call this a train conductor hat. It doesn't work as well as, say, this one, but double hats I don't think works. So I will wear this one for the moment. Yes, solo Sundays, you never know what you're going to get over here. And speaking of solo Sundays, just as a preview, because we've done a lot of Herbaceous today, that's our cover for Herbaceous, but for a quick sneak peek of what's coming up the last Sunday of March, I would like to say this is a prototype copy, but that's right, it's floriferous, which is really exciting. I think we've been Herbaceous out for the moment, so I think just real quick, as I celebrate with my biscuit, why don't we just take a quick look? A note, this is a prototype copy, doesn't include all the components, nothing is completely finalized, so again, sneak peek, completely not final, but if we want to take a look at floriferous, I wanted to show that off, our rule book, advertisement there. Yes, this stuff is definitely all that's prototype. That's me printing it out. But if we just want to take a quick look through some of these cards, these are beautiful. We have some of the statues. And floriferous is, to me, it's sort of like a combination of Herbaceous and Sunset Over Water. You're taking a walk through a garden, making decisions on what you want to pick up, making arrangements with different flowers, trying to form, a different collection based on it. But look at this artwork. This is by Clementine Campardu. These are originally watercolors. I mean, they're beautiful, and there's little bugs on some of them that you want to attract, or I shouldn't say attract, but pick up. And then again, there's arrangement cards, so you're going to be trying to get different types of flowers. They're so nice. Again, this falls into like the Herbaceous, relaxing sort of world for me. But that's all the cards. They're gorgeous, beautiful. So in about a month, or exactly a month, I believe, we're going to be playing through the solo mode for this, which is very interesting and challenging. We will see if I make the right types of decisions. Or if I go ahead and say, let's discard all this. I know exactly what I'm doing. Clearly I do not. But that's the fun of solo games. You try some things, you find out what works, what doesn't, and you just kind of have fun along the way. But yeah, there's a ton of cards. And there's 2 different ways to play, kind of. There's the standard mode and extended play, which just basically adds on a couple of other columns extending the game, but it also opens up different strategies. I've played both ways, and besides just having those extra columns, there are definitely nuanced differences. You are playing the same game, but you're not at the same time, if that makes sense. So I'm still going through this. You're usually going to see about half the deck during a play and you don't know what's going to come out. There's a couple of instances of face down cards and making other decisions based on, there's public goals, there's private goals. I'm going to fly through that because I promised speed gardening and I don't think I actually followed through on that. So this is just, again, a sneak peek of a prototype copy of Floriferous, which if you enjoyed following along here, I hope you will be hopping in, following along next month. But let's get Floriferous out of here. We have about 5 minutes left. And just like we did during the Pencil First Game Celebration Day, I am gonna fly through and do some speed gardening. The problem, I can't do speed shuffling. I don't know, will this hat help? It will not. I'm gonna fly through this though. These are shuffled. Gonna call that, is it 36? Yes, we're gonna call that 36. All righty, let's go. One, get all nervous. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's get the saffron. Oh, okay, get that. Oh yes, there we go. I'm taking it right now. It's the biscuit, but it's speed gardening, so we cannot stop. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's get our pairs going here. All right, I just need 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're terrible. We need to discard all those so that we can do 3, 4, 5. Right? No. Oh, yep. Okay, that's fine. All right, I finished. That's 22, 36, 42, 43, 44, 45, 48, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Ha! 58. 58. Do I have time? Yes, I do. Clean it up. We got 58. Apparently, speed gardening is my thing. Let's go again. We're going fast. 1, 2. Okay. 1. Actually, 4. Let's take that. Let's realize I don't have that yet. Oh, yes. 2, 3. I'm just playing it right now. I got the biscuit again. All right. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 5, 6. That's all I need. All right, and then unique ones. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh my. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going faster. I know. I got about a minute left. That's 6. 14, 26, 38, 44, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. High score. Here we go. Speed gardening. Apparently, that's what I have to do. Although my area is an absolute mess. The biscuit has been won. I am excited. That was awesome. We are right about at the end here. So I want to thank everybody for following along, playing, learning more about the solo mode, and just having fun in general. I had a great time, as I hope you can tell. This was great. So again, thank you all for tuning in and stopping by. Again, our next Solo Sunday is going to be March 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm doing, again, Floriferous, just as a reminder. And as a reminder again, what I showed was a prototype copy, not finalized, but that's going to be exciting. That is about it, though. I really appreciate anybody who stopped by. The comments were great. Thanks to everybody again. And Happy Sunday. Hopefully you've enjoyed these solo Sundays, and we'll be back again. Hope to see you again. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.